First of all, thanks for joining this session. Today we are going to cover zero trust security. My name is Som Ramakrishnan. I've been working in the security and networking industry for more than 25 plus years in various networking as well as security technologies. So let's jump into the session. Let's first look at what the problem we are trying to solve here, right? So, as in the past decade, mostly the network and the access to the corporate was done working from office. That was the most of the way people used to work, and then the security was applied as a perimeter boundary to the corporate office. That was working well for last early part of the evolution, and with the last decade evolving with different layers of if you look at here, we have I put here 5 different perimeter for the current how we access the network and the users as well as the data. So we have the device, n number of devices. We have the network and also the infrastructure such as server, operating system, and also other infrastructure component. And then we have the application. It could be in a cloud or it can be in a local or hybrid environment or as a SaaS. And then we have the data, which can be also local, remote, as well as in the cloud and remote. And the user also can be in a hybrid workplace where we have both the local, remote, as well as hybrid users. So these are the different trust boundaries or layers of trust we need to ensure that we have the zero trust need to be applicable, right? So if so these are the different trust boundaries or layers of we need to apply the zero trust security principle. Now that we went over the different layers of perimeter of the security boundary, let's go through what are the different principles we need to apply for this zero trust security. So there are key elements for the zero trust security principle. They are number one is never trust and always verify, right? So it's making sure that any of this element, first to ensure that not trust and verify, and also continuously verify to ensure that they are always a legitimate user, application, or data. And the second key principle is to implement the least privilege. What that means is actually for any of the user or application or any other object who access the network to ensure give only the minimum privilege required for the application or user or to do their job. So that way they don't have any unwanted access to the any of the other object to ensure the boundary is it's bounded. And the third and another most important element is that we always need to assume there is a breach or threat already happening, so that we have policies in place to ensure there is an immediate how to handle to minimize the impact of that breach. So these are the key principles we need to be applied in the zero trust security elements. Okay, now that we saw what is our security layers and also principles, let's see how we can apply some of this principle and how we can have a strategy in place for the security, implementing the zero trust security. So I've divided here into 4 different pillars to build the zero trust to make sure each and every aspect of this different layers are protected with the zero trust. So let them go one by one. The first one is the zero trust for insider threat. So we need to make sure that security policy in place for no trust applicable to the insider threat. And then to prevent that, you need to make sure that we have the end-to-end policy exit. And the second one is a zero trust for the data privacy. That means no trust to any of the data, as well as the data is only accessed with proper authentication authorization for both for insider data as well as for the customer data. And the third important part is actually zero trust for the hybrid cloud. So today we have a world of a hybrid cloud with both multi-cloud and local premises, and so to ensure that any of the cloud resources access with authentication authorization as well as continuous verification. And the last one is actually the zero trust for the hybrid workforce, to make sure that both corporate users as well as remote users or who are hybrid, they are always authenticated, authorized and verified continuously to ensure zero trust principle is applied. So to making sure all those four important pillars and also applying across all these different perimeters, so we can achieve the overall zero trust security strategy. Thank you for attending the session. So other related section, as I mentioned earlier, was listed here. So please go through if you're interested. And don't forget to give a feedback or subscribe to the channel. Thank you.